Hi guys! Today we'll learn about your concepts on sensory nursing. So this includes your eyes and your ears. And ito naman talaga ang madalas na tinatanong sa board exam guys, especially your eyes. So let's try and answer some questions. Number 1. After cataract surgery, Ye Miko starts complaining of intense eye pain and nausea. What is the nurse's initial action? A. Call the surgeon. B. Reassure the client that this is normal. Or C. Turn the client onto their operative side. Or D. Administer the prescribed pain medication and antiemetics. And the best answer is, tama ka kung sinagot mo, call the surgeon. Makinig. Guys, meron tayong priority when it comes to whatever kind of eye surgery, such as cataract surgery, a surgical procedure to remove cataract in the eyes. Tama? Yes. And ano ang priority na yun, guys? Please don't ever forget, in whatever kind of eye surgery, your priority is increase in intraocular pressure. IOP, increase in intraocular pressure. And ano ang normal, guys? It should just be 21 millimeters per mercury. Yan lang ang tama and acceptable IOP. Ang risk that comes along with eye surgeries, no, like your cataract surgery, is increase in intraocular pressure, and it's manifested by these signs and symptoms. Pag nakita mo to sa exam, walang mintis, increase intraocular pressure yan, such as intense eye pain or sudden eye pain. Tapos meron pang nausea, meron pang vomiting, meron pang dizziness, meron pang headache, okay? Those are characteristic of your increased intraocular pressure. The imminent and priority nursing consideration when you have a patient after eye surgery, whatever kind of eye surgery. Okay? So, yun yung pinaka-priority natin. So, anong gagawin mo? Tawagin mo na ang surgeon. Kasi ano bang magagawa ng nurse kapag may intraocular pressure na tumaas, no? Maliban sa elevate the head of the bed, okay? What you can do is to call the surgeon. So, since walang elevate the head of the bed dito, the best thing to do is to call the surgeon as an initial nursing action. You don't reassure the patient that this is normal because this is not normal. In fact, after eye surgery, what you want to do in your nursing actions is to prevent the increase of intraocular pressure. So when it is increased, call the surgeon, okay? Turn the patient onto the operative side. So for example, inoperahan yung right eye ko for cataract surgery. So ang gagawin ko, i-turn ko patient to the right side kasi doon yung right eye surgery. Okay, what you're doing is that you're just increasing the pressure in the eyes. And again, ano ang management kapag may eye surgery? Prevent the increase of intraocular pressure. So sobrang mali ni Charlie. Okay? And administer the prescribed pain medication and antiemetic. You don't do that because you are delaying treatment when you do that, especially if sabi na ng patient mo, intense, sobrang sakit ng eye pain na meron siya, meron pang nausea. Okay? So that's intraocular pressure that is increased. You have to report that to the surgeon because that's an emergency. That's why the best answer is alpha. Next, number 2, the nurse is creating a teaching plan for Alhidam, who has just been diagnosed with glaucoma. Which instruction should be part of the plan? A. Avoid overuse of the eyes. B. Decrease the amount of salt in the diet. C. Eye medications will need to be administered for life. Or D. Decrease fluid intake to control the intraocular pressure. Oh guys, the best answer is no other than Charlie. Eye medications will need to be administered for life. Guys, glaucoma, forever na ba yan nasa iyo? Yes. And ano ang pinaka-characteristic ng glaucoma that will make you say that the patient has glaucoma? It's all about increase in the intraocular pressure. Pag tumaas ang pressure ng mata, that's glaucoma. And again, anong normal na intraocular pressure? 21 millimeters per mercury. So when it's higher than 21 millimeters per mercury, you consider glaucoma. Bakit eye medications will be need to administered for life? Kasi again, forever na ang glaucoma, it will just progress and progress and progress. So guys, these medications, eye drops that is instilled forever, lifelong to patients with glaucoma, those are the drugs that control the intraocular pressure. Meron silang iba't ibang pharmacologic approaches, okay? But the point of the matter is you have to take those eye drops forever, okay? You don't avoid overuse of the eyes kasi that will do little with the intraocular pressure that is constantly rising in glaucoma. Okay? You decrease the amount of salt in the diet. Saan yan, guys? Decreasing the salt and decreasing the fluid intake. Okay? Saan yan? Kapag ikaw ay may Meniere's disease. Okay? Meniere's disease naman yan. 3. CAVE is being assessed for retinal detachment. Which symptom would support this diagnosis? A. Total loss of vision. B. Pain in the affected eye. Or C. A yellow discoloration of the sclera. Or D. A sense of curtain falling across the field of vision. O, top notcher, pag sinagot, delta. A sense of curtain falling across the vision field. That's characteristic of your retinal detachment. Retinal detachment, from the word itself, nag-detach yung retina. So, pag nag-detach yung retina, guys, nahulog na siya from the attachment niya sa eyes mo. Anong makikita mo? Siyempre, para bang curtain na nahulog. Okay? Kaya, ang tamang sagot, a sense of curtain falling across the visual field. Ano pa? Flickering lights. Parang may curtain na nagfo-float. Will that cause the flickering of lights? Yes. Okay? Yan. Ano pa guys? Characteristic of your retinal detachment. Pwede ba ang presence of floaters? May makita kang nagfo-float-float, yun, retina mo na yun na natanggal na talaga. Okay? Retinal detachment ang tawag sa kanya. So yan, pag nakita mo sa board exam yan, sense of a curtain falling on the visual field, retinal detachment. Ano pa? Flickering of lights, retinal detachment. Ano pa? Floaters on the eyes, retinal detachment. Okay, hindi magkakamali. So, total loss of vision, blindness. Okay? Pain in the affected eye, pwede tayong mag-consider ng glaucoma, pero medyo kulang ang signs and symptoms na pinakita sa Bravo, no? To really quantify its glaucoma. A yellow discoloration of the sclera, edi jaundice, no? Jaundice. Not your retinal detachment. Kaya, that's not the correct answer. Number 4. While examining Thoma, who has mastoiditis, the nurse checks the tympanic membrane. What would be the expected finding? A. A pink-colored tympanic membrane. Or B. A pearly-colored tympanic membrane. Or C. A transparent and clear tympanic membrane. Or D. A red, dull, thick, and immobile tympanic membrane. Guys, eto lang. Pag nakita mo ang word na mastoiditis, inflammation of the mastoid air cells. Pag sinabing mastoiditis, the best and only answer is your tympanic membrane will look like delta. Red, because of the inflammation. Dull, because of the inflammation, okay? And thick and immobile tympanic membrane. Supposed to be the tympanic membrane should be able to vibrate, no? To produce needed mechanical physiology to produce the sound that you can hear, okay? So guys, pag yan immobile na tympanic membrane tapos red and dull and thick, walang mintis, mastoiditis yan. So that's the best and the only answer. Next, number 5. Faruzan is diagnosed with an inner ear disorder. So, sa loob ng ears ang may problema. Which complaint is most common with this condition? Pruritus, tinnitus, hearing loss, burning in the ear. Okay? Guys, walang ibang tamang sagot kundi tinnitus. Tingnan mo, pag sinabing inner ear, sa loob ng ears ang may problema, which can include the inner ear structure, especially guys, your acoustic nerve or your vestibulocochlear nerve or your 8th cranial nerve. Okay, sulat ko. O si 8th cranial nerve. Yan na si acoustic nerve. Nandyan yan siya sa loob, sa inner ear mo. So kapag siya ang may disorder, inner ear disorder, meaning disorder of the acoustic nerve, you will get sensory neural hearing loss. Sensory neural hearing loss. So from the sensory neural part of the ears na mismo ang may disorder, so anong characteristic niyan? Pag may sensory neural hearing loss ka, walang iba kundi tinnitus. Okay, ringing in the ears. So in early parts of your tinnitus in sensory neural hearing loss, no? medyo mild, madalas hindi pa napapansin ng patient. But eventually so, it becomes a loud, persistent roaring in the ears until such time you become deaf. Okay? Hindi ka na makarinig. Kasi once your cranial nerve, number 8, or your acoustic nerve, or your other name niya, vestibulo-cochlear nerve. Ayan, pag yan na ang infected guys, ang mangyayari sa'yo, sensory neural hearing loss. Eventually, ikaw ay mabibingi. Hindi ka na makarinig kasi nerve na mismo ang affected. So, kahit ano pang gawin mo, pag ang nerve mo na ang affected, pag yan ang nawasak, mawawalan talaga ng hearing capacity. Okay? Kaya the best answer is tinnitus. Pruritus pagkakati. Okay? So, kagid yan. Hindi yan sensory neural hearing loss. Hearing loss, ang tanong, most common complaint in this condition, that's tinnitus. That's the most common complaint. Hearing loss in the late stages pa yan. Okay, late stages. Burning in the ear, definitely not. Okay? 7. After hitting his head in a car crash, Diluk is diagnosed with hyphema. What is the most appropriate position for Diluk? A. Flat in bed. B. A semi-Fowler's position. C. Lateral on the affected side. Or D. Lateral on the unaffected side. And the best answer is no other than a semi-Fowler's position. Guys, pag sinabi mong hyphema, guys, yan yung redness ng eyes because of ruptured blood vessels in the eyes, because of contusion or pwedeng impact. So, ano nangyari kay Diluk dito, guys? Na-hit niya ang head niya in a car crash. So, pag natama yung head niya, pwede bang nagkaroon din ng trauma sa eyes? Yes. And pag na-traumatize yung eyes, yung mga blood vessels dyan na sobrang fragile, can they rupture? Yes. Can the blood come out from those blood vessels and eventually cause a red eye? Yes. You call that your hyphema. So, if you want to reduce the hyphema, i-semi-Fowler's mo siya so that by virtue of gravity, you can drain the excess blood pulling in the eyes, okay, downwards to the back to the systemic circulation. So, yan ang best answer, semi-Fowler's position. Never flat in bed because that can increase the risk of increased intraocular pressure. And then you don't do lateral on the affected or unaffected side. Etong characteristic na management na to, makikita mo yan siya sa retinal detachment. So, to prevent the further detachment of the retina, ang gusto mong gawin is to lie the patient on the affected side para mag-flat lang siya, no? Instead na mag-fall off. Okay? Number 8. Dea sustains an eye contusion from a blunt injury. What is the nurse's first intervention? A. Apply ice to the affected eye. B. Irrigate the eye with cool water. Or C. Notify the primary healthcare provider. Or D. Accompany the client to the emergency department. And the best and only answer is top-notcher pag sinagot ang alpha. Apply ice to the affected na eyeball. Bakit? Blunt injury, yan yung characteristic ng eye contusion, guys. Meaning hindi sharp, hindi penetrated injury, okay? Ano yan? Blunt. For example, sinuntok, okay? So yung suntok, sharp ba yan? O hindi. Blunt injury, contusion ang tawag natin sa kind of injury na yan. Bakit ka mag-a-apply ng ice? This is to promote vasoconstriction. And every time you induce vasoconstriction to the vessels of the eyes, you will in turn reduce the swelling. Why do you want to reduce the swelling after a contusion, after a blunt injury to the eyes? Kasi when you reduce the swelling, you reduce the chances of destroying the tissues of the eyes because of the swelling. Okay? Kasi madalas guys, yung injury, blunt trauma, nakakos na ng damage. Yes. Pero meron pa bang naiwan na mga functional parts of the eyes? Yes. And how do you preserve their function? Apply ice para hindi mag-swell ang mata and para hindi tumaas ang pressure sa eyes. Swelling can also in turn cause increase in the ocular pressure. So, can that damage the eyes further? Yes. Kaya ang gawin mo talaga, una, apply ice. Okay? On the eyes. Apply ice on the eyes na na-injure. You don't irrigate it with the cool water. We do eye irrigation pag na-contaminate ang eye ng chemicals. Okay? But not with blunt force trauma. You don't notify the primary healthcare provider or accompany the patient to the emergency room as the first initial action because that will delay the management of putting ice on the mata. on the eye to reduce the swelling. Okay? So pagdating mo sa ER or pagtawag mo sa doktor and pagdating ng doktor, magang-magana yung mata ng patient mo, pwedeng nasira na yung mga tissues dyan. So ang pinaka-first action mo is to apply ice. Okay? That makes Charlie and Delta not the best answer for this one. But do you have to bring the patient to the ER? Yes. Do you need to phone the doctor? Yes. But those are not the first actions. Ice ang gawin mo. Next, number 9. Kazuha comes to the ear with a piece of wood lodged in his eyes from chopping wood. What should the nurse do first? A. Apply an eye patch. B. Perform visual acuity tests. Or C. Irrigate the eye with sterile saline. Or D. Remove the piece of wood using a sterile eye clamp. Oh guys, never do delta. The best answer is no other than perform visual acuity test. Yan lang ang safest na pwede mong gawin sa number 9 question. You cannot apply an eye patch. Kasi pag nilagyan mo ng eye patch yung area na may chopped wound, pwede bang mas mapunta pa sa loob yung chopped wound? Oh, yes. So, ang priority mo kapag nagkaroon ng kahit anong foreign object penetration to the eyes or to even whatever kind of tissue of the body is to maintain that foreign object there. Never attempt to remove that foreign object or else you are risking bleeding, and further damage on the tissues na nagkaroon ng penetrating injury. So in this case, guys, the best answer is to perform visual acuity test. Ask the patient, can you still see? Okay, yung mga ganong bagay. Nakakakita pa ba yung eyes na na-injured? O, ganun lang, visual acuity. Kung may vision pa ba, yun lang ang pwede mong gawin. And the rest, you have to phone an ophthalmologist para makita ang patient na to. Sino ang magtatanggal ng piece of wood using a sterile eye clamp? Ophthalmologist po. Siya lang ang expert na pwedeng gumawa nito and not us nurses. You don't irrigate the eye, you only do irrigation pag may contamination. Okay? Yun yung motto natin, irrigation of the eye when there's contamination. And again, you don't apply an eye patch. Next, number 10. Which of the following symptoms would the nurse expect in Keking if she is experiencing acute angle closure glaucoma? A. Gradual loss of central vision. B. Acute light sensitivity. Or C. Loss of color vision. Or D. Sudden eye pain. Guys, isa-isahin natin. Gradual loss of the central vision, that's your macular degeneration, MD. Acute light sensitivity, edi photosensitivity. Loss of color vision, edi color blindness. So the best answer is no other than sudden eye pain. Oh, what's causing the sudden eye pain in close angle glaucoma? Kita mo yan? Acute angle closure or your close angle glaucoma. The sudden eye pain is because of increase in the intraocular pressure. Pag tumaas ang pressure ng mata, more than 21 millimeters per mercury, that can cause the pain in your angle closure glaucoma. And what did I tell you about glaucoma, guys? Is it all about increase in the pressure of the intraocular pressure, okay? Yes, so increase intraocular pressure, glaucoma. When it's painful, that's your closed angle, okay? Next, number 11. While gardening, Coley accidentally gets insecticide sprayed into her right eye. Oh, eto na. She frantically calls the emergency room. What should the nurse advise her to do first? Oh, the best ka. Kahit hindi mo nabasayan ng ibang choices, ang sagot mo, irrigate the eyes with water. Okay? 'Di ba? Sabi natin, pag na-contaminate ang eye ng whatever kind of chemical, the first thing you do is to try and decontaminate it by irrigating the concerned eye. Okay? So irrigate the eyes. You have to come to the emergency department, but that's not the first thing you do. You irrigate first, no? You call the primary healthcare provider, yes, but that's not the first thing you do. And never, ever put hydrogen peroxide on your eyes. Kasi bleaching agent yan. Sobrang lakas niyan. It can damage the tissues of your eyes, leading to blindness. Okay, wrong talaga ang Delta. Guys, irrigate the eyes for how long? Pwedeng 20 minutes or until you get advanced medical help. So when you get in the ER, can you continuously irrigate the eyes until you're seen by an ophthalmologist until further management is done? Yes. No, in the attempt to decontaminate the eye with the insecticide that has been sprayed accidentally. Okay? So how do you irrigate the eye, guys? O fundamentals. O if you're irrigating the eyes, o for example, if it's the right eye, tulad dito, sabi dito, Coley, right eye ang na-contaminate. Irrigate the eye, put the eye on dependent position. Pag sinabi mong dependent position, yung eye na concerned, ilagay mo sa baba, down. So for if it's the right eye o decontaminate, you flush water kaganyan. Bakit? Para yung flow ng water papunta dito along with the toxic substance that has contaminated the eye. Anong gusto mong gawin dyan? To prevent contaminating the other eye. Okay? Yun lang rationale, common sense lang. Okay? So yes, alpha is the best answer. Number 12. Ayaka is being discharged after cataract surgery with intraocular lens implantation. Which home care instructions should the nurse include in her teaching? Sata. Should Ayaka avoid activities that require bending over? Yes. Should Ayaka contact the surgery if eye scratchiness occurs? No, eye scratchiness and minor pain is expected in whatever kind of surgery, even cataract. O note, sabi ko, minor, ha? Minor pain. Yung pain na kaya mo lang i-tolerate. Severe pain, increase intraocular pressure, remember? So pag minor pain, minor scratchiness, can that be medicated lang by acetaminophen and mga over-the-counter pain meds? Yes, okay? So you don't contact the provider pag may scratchiness or pag may minor or mild pain, okay? You take acetaminophen for minor eye pain, Ayaka, pwede? Yes. Kakasabi lang. Delta, expect episodes of sudden severe pain in the eyes. No. Sabi natin, that's characteristic of increased intraocular pressure. Report to the physician. Go right away to the emergency room. Place an eye shield on the surgical eye at bedtime. Yes. Guys, every time you hear this in exams or concepts, nalagyan ng eye shield o cover the eyes, what you want to do is to protect the eye from injury. So, kakagaling lang ba sa surgery ng eyes na yan? Yes. So, do you need to protect it by putting eye shield? Yes, kasi you want to preserve the integrity of the eyes. You want to prevent injury in the eyes. That's why correct si echo. Next, contact the surgeon if a decrease in visual acuity occurs. So, biglang hindi ka na nakakita after surgery, contact the doctor? Definitely so. Yes. So, anong best answers dito sa SATA natin, guys? You have Alpha, Charlie, Echo, and Foxtrot. Those are the correct answers. Okay? Next, number 13. After having a tonometry test for suspected glaucoma, albedo results show an intraocular pressure of 23 millimeters per mercury. What should the nurse do first? Guys, A, apply normal saline drops, or B, note the time of the day the test was done, or C, contact the primary healthcare provider, or D, instruct the client to sleep with the head of the bed flat. Okay? Guys, the best and only answer, top notcher, pag sinagot, note the time of day the test was done. And why is that? Why is that? There is a normal increase. Mild lang naman, okay? Mild increase of the intraocular pressure upon awakening. Upon awakening in the morning. Sa morning, around 7 to 9 a.m., normally, the intraocular pressure will rise. Okay? Part yan ng physiologic response ng katawan mo. Okay? So guys, anong best answer? Note the time kung kailan yan ginawa. Baka nag-tonometry test ka. That test is used to detect the pressure in the eyes. Okay? Pag nag-tonometry test ka around 8 a.m., do you expect the tonometry test to be a little elevated? 23 millimeters per mercury. Yes. Ano yung normal? 21. Okay, so nag-elevate ng konti. So expect it's elevated when it's morning upon awakening. Okay? So guys, note the day. That's the best answer. You don't apply normal saline drops. For what? Diba? You don't contact the primary healthcare provider kasi, ano yan, tignan mo muna kung anong oras, no? You do the contacting later. If you have further signs and symptoms, you can contact. You don't instruct the client to sleep with the head flat on bed, but rather, pag may glaucoma, gusto mong i-decrease ang intraocular pressure, o semi-Fowlers, elevate the head of the bed to promote drainage of excess fluid. When you drain excess fluid, you reduce the pressure of the eyes, no? So next, number 14. After craniotomy of an acoustic neuroma, which cranial nerve should be assessed in LISA to monitor for specific complications? Ayan. Guys, alpha, cranial nerve number 1, olfactory, or cranial nerve number 4, trochlear, cranial nerve number 3, oculomotor, or cranial nerve number 7, facial nerve. Ba The best and only answer is no other than delta. You check the facial nerve. Kapag ang patient kakatapos lang ng craniotomy dahil sa acoustic neuroma. Guys, from the word itself, acoustic neuroma, this is, sulat mo dyan, benign lang yan na tumor. Benign tumor na nag-grow saan? Sa acoustic nerve mo, cranial nerve number 8. The nerve responsible for hearing and balance. Yun yung tumor na nag-grow sa acoustic nerve mo. It's also known as your vestibular schwannoma. Benign. It doesn't spread. It doesn't metastasize, no? Pwede lang matanggal after surgery. So, anong ginawa sa kanya, guys? Nag-craniotomy, surgery, to remove the what? The tumor. Yung acoustic neuroma mo. So, guys, bakit cranial nerve number 7 or your facial nerve ang kailangan mong bantayan? Excuse me. It's because along with your cranial nerve number 8, ears going to the brain, that's your acoustic nerve. Face going to the brain, that's your facial nerve. Isa yan sa pinakamalapit in terms of proximity to your acoustic nerve. Sino pa, guys? Pag nandyan sa choices, pag wala si facial nerve, ang pwede mong i-answer is si trigeminal nerve. Ayan, trigeminal nerve. Okay? So, if walang facial nerve, trigeminal nerve. If you have acoustic neuroma. So, how do you check the facial nerve of the patient? Yung nerve na yan, that's the one responsible for your facial movements. So, can you ask the patient to smile? Can you ask the patient to pout the lips? And blow. Pwede, okay? So, just checking the motor function of the face. That's how you check your facial nerve. Pag trigeminal nerve naman, ang gusto mong i-check, senses, okay? Same lang yan. That's the concept you have to know when you are dealing with acoustic neuroma. So, how do you check the trigeminal nerve again? Check the senses. Pwede bang mag-brush sa face? Then, tanungin ang patient kung na-feel niya yung brush? Yes. Pwedeng pressure? Yes. Pwedeng temperature? Cold versus warm? Yes. Okay? That's how you check your trigeminal nerve. Next, number 15. Ito's chart includes a diagnosis of presbycusis or presbycusis. Based on this, how should the nurse communicate with him? A. Speak loudly but mumble or slur the words. Or B. Speak loudly and clearly while facing the client. Or C. Speak at normal tone and pitch, slowly and clearly. Or D. Speak loudly and directly to the client's affected ear. Guys, the best and only answer is no other than Charlie lang po. Okay? Speak lang on a normal tone and a normal pitch, pero slowly so that the patient can follow and clearly so that the patient can understand what you are saying. Guys, presbycusis or presbycusis, that's the degeneration of the acoustic nerve because of age. Okay? Normal part of aging yan, no? Kaya yung mga lolo and lola natin medyo nabibingi sila kahit na they are healthy living adults and their lifetime. It's because, no, the normal wear and tear theory of the body is that the older you get, the older your organs also get, no? They undergo your wear and tear theory. So, pag na wear and tear na yung acoustic nerve mo because of age, you get presbycusis. Ayan. So, anong gawin mo? Speak normal tone lang, no? You don't have to speak loudly. Clearly, yes. While facing the client, pwede. But loudly, no. Okay? You just have to speak clearly and slower. You don't have to mumble or slur the words. No? Hindi mo yan kailangan gawin. For what? Mas hindi kanya maiintindihan. Loudly and directly on the affected ear. Guys, ano yung affected ear dito kapag may presbycusis ka? Pwede bang bilateral? Yes. Okay? So you don't do that. No, you just speak on a normal tone and pitch slowly and clearly. Next, number 16. Eula, diagnosed with Meniere's disease, is experiencing severe vertigo. Which instruction should the nurse give to help control the vertigo? A. Increase sodium in the diet. Or B. Avoid sudden head movements. Or C. Lie still and watch the television. Or D. Increase fluid intake to 3,000 ml a day. And the best answer is avoid sudden head movements. Vertigo, characteristic ng Meniere's disease mo. When you say Meniere's disease, guys, tatlo lang ang hahanapin mo dito. You have vertigo, characterized by hearing loss, and tinnitus. Ayan. So, pag nakita mo yan, vertigo, hearing loss, tinnitus, yan ang triad ng Meniere's disease mo. So, anong kailangan mong gawin? Avoid sudden head movements to prevent the sudden attacks of vertigo in Meniere's disease. Kasi imagine, Meniere's disease, it attacks your acoustic nerve, also known as your vestibulocochlear nerve, your 8th cranial nerve. Tama? Yes, the nerve responsible for you to be able to hear and for you to be able to balance. Okay? Yun yung function niya. So, pag affected siya, anong affected? Hearing and balance. Kaya ka may vertigo, balance problem. Kaya ka may hearing loss, kasi acoustic nerve ang affected. Tinnitus, kasi acoustic nerve ang affected. Okay? Yun yung triad ng Meniere's disease mo. You don't increase sodium in the diet. Actually, you have to reduce that when you have Meniere's disease. Kailangan mo i-reduce ang sodium and reduce the fluid to reduce the endolymphatic fluid in the ears. Okay? To reduce the risk of Meniere's disease. Ayan. Do you have to instruct the patient to lie still kapag may vertigo episodes? Yes, to promote safety, to avoid injury. O, wag na mag-watch ng television, you decrease stimuli to decrease vertigo. O, di ba mas nakakahilo kapag ikaw ay nanonood ng mga moving objects and things kapag nagva-vertigo ka na. Okay? Next, number 17. The nurse is about to test sinus vision using the Snellen's chart. Which method describes the correct way to perform this test? A. The right eye is tested, followed by the left eye, and then both eyes are tested. Or B. Both eyes are assessed together, followed by an assessment of the right eye, and then the left eye. Or C. The client is asked to stand at a distance of 20 feet or 12 meters from the chart and to read the largest line on the chart. Or D, the client is asked to stand at a distance of 40 feet or 12 meters from the chart and to read the line that can be read at 200 feet or 60 meters away by an individual with unimpaired vision. Oh, the best answer is no other than alpha. Unahin mo muna ang right, then ang left, then both eyes na. Okay? Why? Guys, ang Snellen's chart, guys, one eye at a time. Okay? One eye at a time. So, unahin mo muna right and then left by covering, using a cover. Then, both eyes are tested. You remove the eye cover. Ganun ka mag-check ng visual acuity using your Snellen's test. Now, the question is, gaano kalayo from that chart or your Snellen's chart? Definitely not 40 feet, making Charlie and Delta wrong. Ilang feet lang, guys? 20 feet lang, okay? That's approximately 6 meters. Ganun lang, okay? And ano ang tanong dyan? 20 feet of a person with a healthy eyesight, dapat makita mo yung makita niya at 20. So, example of your Snellen's chart, like this one. Kung nasaan yung 20, dito malapit sa may red bar na to, those are the letters that can be seen by a person with an unimpaired vision or my healthy vision. So, dapat makita mo rin yan at 20 feet, making Charlie and Delta wrong because of their distance. And then, bravo, both eyes are assessed together. Wrong. Dapat una muna ang one eye at a time before both eyes. Next, number 18. Tignari's vision test results using a Snellen chart are documented as 20/60 or 20/60. What should the nurse do next based on this information? A. Provide the client with materials on legal blindness. Or B. Instruct the client that glasses may be needed when driving. Or C. Inform the client of where to purchase a white cane with a red tip. Or D. Inform the client that it is best to sit near the back of the room when attending lectures. Guys, 20/60 over 60 or 20/60. Ibig sabihin yan, what you see on 20 feet or 6 meters can be seen by a healthy eyesight in 60 feet. Okay? So, ibig sabihin guys, kung ako normal eyesight, kaya ko siyang makita in 60. Pero ikaw, kaya mo makita in 20. Nearsighted ka ba? Sira ba ang mata mo? Yes. Okay? Kaya ang best answer is no other than instruct the client that glasses may be needed when driving. That's the best answer. Okay? Delta is telling you about farsightedness. Inform the client that it is best to sit near the back of the room. Pero ano siya? Nearsighted ba siya? Kasi kaya niyang makita in 20 feet, ang kaya kong makita in 60 if I'm healthy eyesight. O, making Delta the wrong answer. Inform the client of where to purchase white cane with a red tip ginagamit ng mga bulag. Okay? So, hindi mo yan i-advise sa kanya. And yung sinasabi nating legal blindness, guys, kapag ikaw ay 20 over 200. What can be seen by an ordinary person with a healthy eyesight at 200 feet ay nakikita mo at 20 feet. O, wasak na wasak ang mata mo dyan. Legal blindness ang tawag natin dyan. Okay? Next, number 19. The nurse is caring for Mona, who has hearing impairment. What is the most effective communication technique to use with her? A. Speak loudly. B. Speak frequently. C. Speak at a normal volume. Or D. Speak directly into the impaired ear. Ito na naman. Guys, ang best and only answer is to speak at a normal volume. Ma'am, why is it we don't speak loudly to a patient na merong hearing impairment? O like kanina, may presbycusis because of old age. And why normal voice lang? Guys, this has something to do with treating the patient with dignity. Okay? Kahit bingi na sila, what you have to do is to speak on a normal tone like how you would on an average person. And when the patient asks you to repeat what you've said para mas maintindihan kanya, that's the time you repeat what you have said. Okay? But still, in a normal tone of voice. Pero, slower and clearer para mas maintindihan kanya at the same time preserving the patient's dignity. Okay? That's why you don't have to speak loudly. Okay? And you don't have to speak frequently. Frequently, pagiging chattery. O, hindi naman kailangan yan. Okay? And speak directly into the impaired ear will further prevent your communication from being successful. Okay? Best answer, Charlie. Number 20. Al-Haytham tells the nurse his vision is blurry and hazy all day long. What should the nurse recommend he do? A. Purchase a pair of magnifying glasses. B. Wear glasses with tinted lenses. Or C. Schedule an appointment with an optician. Or D. Schedule an appointment with an ophthalmologist. And the best answer is no other than Delta. O, sumangguni na sa eye expert, sa eye doctor, and that's your ophthalmologist. Your optician, guys, yan yung gumagawa ng glasses, okay? Tagagawa lang sila ng glasses, ng prescription glasses. Pero sino ang nagbibigay ng prescription glasses? Sino ang nag-a-assess kung anong klaseng vision ka meron? And gaano ka-impaired ang vision mo? Okay? It's your ophthalmologist. Okay? Oh, you don't need to wear tinted lenses kasi that will not solve the problem of blurry vision and hazy vision. Kailangan mo munang mapakonsulta sa doktor para maresetahan ka ng glasses. And di mo kailangan ng magnifying glasses dito. Okay? That will do little on the problem of blurry and hazy vision. Next, number 21. Before cataract surgery, the nurse prepares to administer phenylephrine hydrochloride or your neosynephrine eye drops to Cave. What is the intended effect of this medication? Ito na. A. Dilation of the pupil and blood vessels. Or B. Dilation of the pupils and constriction of blood vessels. Or C. Constriction of the pupils and constriction of the blood vessels. Or D. Constriction of the pupil and dilation of the blood vessels. Guys, when you say your phenylephrine hydrochloride, that's your midriatric eye drop, midriatric. So, ito mga midriatric eye drop, guys, what they do is that they will dilate your pupils. Okay? It will cause pupil dilation. Oh, kaya the best answer dyan, sanang may dilation dyan, it's bravo. It will cause your pupil to dilate, but it will constrict your blood vessels. So anong ginagawa niya? It will dilate the pupil as a sympathetic nervous system response, and in turn, it will constrict the blood vessels in your sympathetic nervous system approach. Okay? Kaya ang best answer natin is bravo rather than alpha, dilation of the pupil and blood vessels. Guys, if you want to dilate the pupil, o anong effect sa blood vessel niyan? SNS, no? Dilation of pupil so that you're able to fight whatever threat you have in front of you or run away from that threat, flight. Okay? Anong meron sa blood vessels mo kapag fight or flight response? Constriction. Para mas mataas ang blood pressure, para mas maayos ang perfusion sa organs, para mas maka-fight or flight response ka. Correct? Yes. Kaya hindi pwedeng dilation din ang blood vessels, making alpha wrong. Okay? And you see delta, constriction of the pupils and dilation of the blood vessel. That's not SNS. That looks like parasympathetic nervous system. No? When the pupils are constricted, you cannot fight or flight, but you can rest and digest. Oh, when the blood vessels are dilated, they don't need to perfuse any organ, correct? Kaya naka-rest and digest ka. Ano yan? PNS. Okay? Tinan mo ang Charlie, constriction of the pupil and constriction of the blood vessel doesn't make sense. Okay? Kapag naka-constrict ang pupil mo, naka-rest and digest ka. Correct? Kasi you don't need to dilate it to fight or to run away. Pero, kapag naka-constrict ang blood vessels mo, that's SNS. So, contrasting ang concept ng Charlie, making it not the correct answer. Best answer, bravo. When you dilate the pupil, you're able to see, to be able to fight or flight. When you constrict the blood vessels, you're able to perfuse organ in order to fight or flight. Basically, your SNS. What your mid-reatric would do. Okay? Next, number 22. Shortly after cataract surgery, Amber complains of feeling nauseated. What should the nurse do first? A. Instruct the client to take a few deep breaths until the nausea subsides. Or D. Explain that this is a common feeling that will pass quickly. Or C. Tell the client to call the nurse promptly if vomiting occurs. Or D. Medicate the client with an antiemetic as ordered. Guys, the best and only answer is bigyan mo siya ng antiemetic kung may standing order ang doktor for that. Or mga PRN orders when the patient feels nauseated. Okay? Guys, ang sinabi specifically sa question, nauseated siya. Is there any pain? Wala. So, less likely that this is an increased intraocular pressure. Kasi kakagaling niya lang ba sa eye surgery? Yes. Anong tinitingnan natin pag kakagaling lang sa eye surgery? Increased intraocular pressure. Wala namang pain. Nauseated lang naman siya. So, anong first action mo? Give your antiemetic for nausea as ordered by the physician. PRN meds. Okay? So, yan. You don't instruct the client to take few deep breaths because that will not solve the nausea. Kung may ordered medication, give the ordered medication. Nasa hospital siya for what? For the medications to be given when they are due. Correct? Yes. Explain the client that this is a common feeling. Wrong. You did not solve the problem of the client. Okay? Tell the client to call the nurse pag nagsuka na siya, dun ka pa papasok as a nurse. Di ba? Mali yan. Give what is due to the patient. Give the care. Give the antiemetic drug. Next, number 23. The nurse is teaching Jean about proper positioning after her cataract surgery. What position should she maintain at home? Eto na guys, di ba? After whatever kind of eye surgery, you want to prevent increase intraocular pressure. And how do you do that? By virtue of gravity, the best answer is alpha. Remain in a semi-Fowler's position where the head of the bed is slightly elevated. 30 to 45 degrees. To promote drainage of whatever fluids ang nandiyan na naiwan to prevent the increase of intraocular pressure. Okay? You don't position the feet higher than the body. That will increase the intraocular pressure. And you don't lie on the operative side. That will increase the intraocular pressure. And you don't place the head on a dependent position. Guys, pag narinig niyo to, dependent position, ibig sabihin, ibababa mo siya. So dito, anong ibababa mo? Ang head. Okay? Pag binaba mo ang head, will that increase intraocular pressure? Yes. So don't do that. No, elevate the head of the bed. Alpha. Next, number 24. After cataract surgery, Nahida is told to apply gentle pressure on the inner canthus of her eye after using eye drops. Why is this instruction important? Oh, A. Prevent the medication from entering the tear duct. B. Prevent the drug from running down the client's face. Or C. Allows the sensitive cornea to adjust to the medication. Or D. Facilitates distribution of the medication over the eye surface. Guys, the best and only answer is ayaw mo siyang pumasok sa tear duct. Kaya kailangan mo i-apply gentle pressure on the ganito, sa may inner canthus ng eyes. For how long? 30 to 60 seconds. Ganyan ang gagawin mo. Ibe-press mo siya, di ba? After you apply your eye ointment, instruct the patient to press the inner canthus of the eyes to prevent it from entering the lacrimal ducts or your tear ducts. Kasi para saan ba yung eye ointment na yun? Para sa mata ba? Yes, hindi siya para sa tear ducts mo. Kasi pag nakapasok siya sa tear ducts mo, it can cause systemic effect of the drug. Saan mo gusto yung effect? Sa mata lang. Hindi mo na kailangan sa ibang parte ng katawan, okay? So yun, that's why you have to press the inner canthus of the eyes. Prevents the drug from running down the face. Anong gagamitin mo? Cotton, okay? Or tissue, pwede pag may sobrang nalaglag. Allows the sensitive cornea to adjust to the medication is not why you are applying pressure on the inner canthus. And if you want to facilitate the distribution of the medications over the eyes, the instruction is to ask the patient to blink slowly and then close the eyes. Close the eyes and then roll the eyes around. Roll the eyes while the eyelids are closed. That's how you facilitate distribution of the medication. Okay? Yun. Next, number 25. Following her cataract removal, Yalan is told to immediately report sharp pain in her operated eye. This might indicate which complication. Eto na guys. The best answer dito is kung saan dyan makikita mo is a hidden increase intraocular pressure. And, detached retina ba? Prolapse of the iris, extracapsular erosion, or intraocular hemorrhage? Ikaw na. Ang best answer is delta, intraocular hemorrhage. Following cataract removal is that surgery. Yes. Again, anong priority after whatever kind of eye surgery? Increase in the intraocular pressure. Ano ba talaga ang nagkukos ng increase in intraocular pressure? The bleeding, secondary to the surgical manipulation. The swelling, secondary to the tissue manipulation during the surgery. Okay? So, intraocular hemorrhage, can that increase the intraocular pressure? Exactly. That's why yan ang kailangan mong sabihin kay Yalan na i-report niya ang sharp pain. That's the one causing the pain and that's the one that can increase the intraocular pressure. Hemorrhage, bleeding in the eyes after surgery. Detached retina, nasabi na natin kanina, di ba? Floaters, pwedeng flickering lights, pwedeng curtain sensation on the eyes, correct? Prolapse of the iris, klaro yan, kasi dito mo makikita sa mata pag nag-prolapse yung iris. Next, number 26. Either has a retinal detachment and is prescribed bilateral eye patching. What is the intended benefit of this intervention? A. Reduce rapid eye movements. B. Decrease the irritation caused by light entering the damaged eye. Or C. Protect the injured eye from infection. Or D. Rest the eyes to promote healing. The best answer and the only correct answer is alpha, to reduce rapid eye movement. Kaya kailangan mo bilateral patching after retinal detachment. Di ba guys, napag-usapan natin kanina. Retinal detachment, pag nag-detach ang retina, okay, from the word itself. So, once you are patching both eyes, okay, not just the eye affected, even when the patient is awake, even when the patient is not sleeping, you have to patch both eyes in retinal detachment. Kasi when you're patching both eyes, you're blocking vision. And when you're blocking vision, you're blocking rapid eye movement. Kasi ano nagkukos sa mata natin to move to one point to another? Eyeballs to move. When you have stimuli from the outside world you want to look at, okay? So when you want to prevent the rapid eye movement that will further detach the retina, edi patch both eyes. Kaya ang best answer is alpha, no, to reduce the rapid eye movement. So now when the eye is patched, both eyes are patched, magagalaw niya ba yan kung saan ang mga visual stimuli niya? Hindi na, okay? So you reduce the rapid eye movement. Your retinal detachment is not about the light entering the damaged eye, okay? And it's not to protect the injured eye from infection. If you want to do that, you give your antibiotics, okay? And then you do proper hygiene. Oh, and then rest the eyes to promote healing. That's an indirect way of saying that you want to reduce rapid eye movement. Kung may mas direct na answer, yun ang sagutin mo. Alpha, okay? Next number. 27. Kukishinobu has been prescribed acetazolamide or Diamox eye drops for glaucoma. How should the nurse administer the medication properly? A. Ask the client to close his right eye while administering the drug in the left eye. Or B. Have the client look up while the nurse administers the eye drops. Or C. Have the client lift his eyebrows while the nurse positions the hand with the dropper on the client's forehead. Excuse me. Or D, wipe the eyes with a tissue following administration of the drops. Guys, the best and only answer is, pag nag-eye drops ka, bravo. Have the client look up while the nurse administers the eye drop. Bakit, guys? When you administer the eye drop in whatever eye, both eyes are open. Okay? Kasi remember, yung dalawang mata mo, guys, sabayan sila gumagalaw. Sabayan sila naglo-look sa whatever kind of direction. Sabay sila nagbi-blink. So, hindi kailangan na isang eyes ang gagalawin mo or mag-eye drops ka, yung kabilang eyes closed. Hindi siya kailangan. They have to be both open. Okay? To reduce extra movements of the eyes na can impede the proper delivery of the medication or your eye drops. So after you open the both eyes, syempre, ask the patient to look up. Bakit? Tingin siya somewhere. Look up siya. Kasi, saan ba ang eye drops nilalagay? Question, saan nilalagay ang eye drops? Directly ba sa eyeballs? No. Saan mo nilalagay? Sa conjunctival sac. Okay? Sa sac, dito, sa lower conjunctival sac. So if you wanna access that area better, anong gagawin mo? Tilt the head. Open mo ng konti yan. Pwedeng, you can drag this down. O, yung lower conjunctival sac. And then ask the patient to look up. Okay? Para hindi magkaroon ng sudden eye movement. Hindi magulo ang paglagay ng eye drops mo. Okay? So, yan. And then after that, do you wipe the eyes with tissue following the administration of the drops? You don't do that. Kasi mababawasan yung intended na amount of eye drops sa eyes. Kasi pina-absorb mo sa tissue. Anong gagawin mo after you have administered the eye drop? Instruct the patient to close the eyes gently and then roll the eyeballs along the closed eyelids to facilitate the spread of the medication. Okay? And then, pag merong mga sobra or excess, can you use the tissue na to the excess eye drop? Yes, that's the time you can use it. But not after the administration of the eye drops. Okay? Kailangan mo muna siya i-spread sa eyes para mas makita mo yung optimal effect ng drug. Okay? That's why Bravo is the best answer. Next, number 28. The nurse is monitoring for signs of chronic open-angle glaucoma or your COAG in Arataki Ito. Which symptom is most associated with this condition? A. Eye pain. B. Excessive lacrimation. C. Colored light flashes. Or D. Decreasing peripheral vision. Yan na, guys. If it's open-angle glaucoma, you get delta. Decreasing peripheral vision, also known as your tunnel vision. If this is your normal eye vision of a person with the healthy eyes, in open-angle glaucoma, nababawasan ang peripheral vision hanggang sa maiwan na lang sa'yo para bang tunnel. Yan na lang ang nakikita mo na area. What's the reason? Because of increased intraocular pressure. That's your glaucoma. When you say eye pain, ano yan? That's your close angle glaucoma along with increased intraocular pressure. Pero pag open angle, ano nakikita? Tunnel vision. Ano? Peripheral vision decreasing. Okay? Pag sinabing excessive lacrimation, something to do with the tear ducts, not the patient's intraocular pressure. And when you say colored light flashes, ayan na. Light flashes, saan yan nakikita, guys? When you have retinal detachment. Diba? Colored light flashes, flashes of lights, floaters, ano pa? Yung curtain sensation falling on the visual field. Next, number 29. What is the expected effect of using myotic eye drops for gangrenous glaucoma treatment? Guys, is it paralyzing the ciliary muscle? Is it constricting the intraocular vessel? Is it constricting the pupil? Or is it relaxing the ciliary muscle? And you are correct if you have answered, it will constrict the pupil. Guys, myotic, siya yung opposite ng mydriatric. So, pag sinabi mong mydriatric, for pupil dilation. Pag sinabi mong myotic, for pupil constriction. So, same sila, may letter O. Constriction, okay? Myotic, yan siya. Okay? Guys, tingnan mo. Charlie ang best answer. Pero alpha, paralyzing ciliary muscle, and delta, relaxing ciliary muscle, do they sound the same? When you paralyze a muscle, do you relax it? Yes. And pwede mo siyang i-eliminate. Same concept in the question. Choices can be eliminated. Kasi hindi ka pwede magkaroon ng dalawang correct answer in one question. And anong mga drugs yan? Nagpa-paralyze ng ciliary muscle mo. Nagre-relax ng ciliary muscle mo. Listen, that's your mydriatrics. And your cycloplegics. Yan. Yan ang effect nila. They paralyze the ciliary muscle that will cause pupil dilation. Okay? Kasi yung anatomy ng eyes natin, guys, the one that causes the pupils to constrict para mas lumiit siya is when the muscle contracts. Okay? So, para bang muscles lang ng biceps natin? Kailan ba lumalaki yung muscle biceps? Pag nagko-contract. Okay? So, pag nakarelax, medyo manipis. Tama? So, yan. When you paralyze the muscles, you make the muscles thinner. You dilate the pupils. Okay? O, kaya mydriatrics and cycloplegic drugs mo yan. Constricting intraocular vessels. Sino nagko-constrict ng blood vessel, guys? SNS. Sino nagko-cause ng SNS and pupillary dilation? Mydriatrics pa rin. Okay? The only opposite one here is the constricting pupil. That's why that's the best answer. And essentially so, yan ang effect ng myotic drug mo. Pupil constriction. Okay? Next, number 30, last item. Keking is using timolol myalate or timoptic eye drops for her glaucoma. What is the intended therapeutic outcome of this beta blocker? A. Constricting the pupil. B. Dilating the canals of Schlemm. Or C. Reducing aqueous humor formation. Or your D. Improving the ability of the ciliary muscle to contract. And the best and only answer, you're using timolol, like a beta blocker, and betaxolol, eye drops, in patient with glaucoma because for some reason, guys, no, they can reduce the aqueous humor formation. Okay? Pag na-reduce mo ang aqueous humor sa mata mo, you also reduce intraocular pressure. Okay? Yan yung result at effect niya, di ba? Decrease in intraocular pressure. And remember, ang characteristic ng glaucoma mo, is it because of increased intraocular pressure? Yes. That's why the drugs you give all to decrease intraocular pressure in their own pharmacologic ways. And your timolol along with betaxolol, yan sila. Eye drops, what they do is that they reduce aqueous humor formation. Okay? That's the fluid found in front of the eyes, in front of your pupils. Okay? That can cause increase in intraocular pressure pag tumaas yung amount ng aqueous humor. So when you reduce it, okay, like with the use of your beta blockers, timolol and betaxolol, can you reduce the intraocular pressure and solve the glaucoma problem? Yes, okay. That's why nagagamit din sila sa glaucoma, no? Remember, your timolol and your betaxolol. O, sino pang drug, guys, na eye drops na pwedeng ibigay sa glaucoma that has the same function to reduce aqueous humor formation? You also have your carbonic anhydrase inhibitors. Yan, your carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, your CAIs. They are also used as eye drops to reduce the aqueous humor formation and in turn reduce the intraocular pressure of the eyes. So, examples of your carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, your brinzolamide. Ayan. So, basically guys, itong mga carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, these are drugs that ends in your lamide. Acetazolamide, okay? Brinzolamide, yan. Mga na yan sila, carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. Anong ginagawa? Reduce aqueous humor production. Along with your beta blockers, like your timolol, betaxolol. Okay? So, that's it. That's it. Hope you learned. Thank you for listening. Bye.